Welcome back to Future Frontiers AI, the channel where we track how artificial intelligence is reshaping the world in real time. Every week, we break down the biggest AI stories you actually need to know, from breakthrough chips and new foundation models to billion-dollar funding rounds, policy shifts, and real-world deployments. The AI landscape isn't just moving fast, it's redefining how technology, business, and society operate. No hype, no buzzwords, just clear explanations, smart context, and why these developments matter right now, and what they mean for what comes next. If you want to stay ahead of the curve as AI moves from labs into everyday life, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
So you know that grand vision for AI? Well, it's just slammed into a very, very expensive wall. Today, we're going to break down the massive pivot that's happening right now, and it is changing everything.
You know, for years, the big dream, the thing that got everyone excited and opening their wallets, was AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. We're talking about a real, human-like intelligence that could tackle literally any problem you throw at it. It felt like we were living in a sci-fi movie, didn't it? Just on the verge of this incredible breakthrough.
Yeah, well, it turns out that dream needs a whole lot of juice to run. I mean, a staggering amount. The cost to just keep the lights on for these massive AI models is so ridiculously high that the electric bill alone is forcing the entire industry to rethink its game plan. It's a huge reality check. Okay, so if chasing that pure AGI dream is just too expensive for right now, what's plan B, right? What's the new game plan? Let's dig into how the industry is shifting its focus from what if to how do we make this profitable.
All right, first up, the bill comes due. We're talking about a financial pressure cooker. And to really get this pivot, you have to understand the mind-boggling amounts of money we're dealing with here.
Let's just look at OpenAI for a second. They're on track to pull in $20 billion in revenue by 2025. I mean, that's an absolutely colossal number by any measure. A massive success, right? Well, that number doesn't tell the whole story.
Because here's the crazy part. Even with all that money pouring in, even with skyrocketing revenue, they're reportedly still struggling to cover the astronomical costs just to run these things. The price tag for the computing power, the energy, it all creates this intense financial pressure cooker.
So this pressure is forcing everyone to get really creative. And that brings us to our next section, the new monetization playbook. It's all about paying for progress.
And really, we're seeing two main strategies pop up. One of them is going to feel very familiar. The other, it's pretty radical. A huge departure from the norm. Let's break them both down.
Okay, so first up, ads. Yep, you heard that right. Just like Google or Instagram, OpenAI is apparently thinking about putting ads in the free version of ChatGPT. It's the classic playbook, right? A tried and true way to make money when you've got millions of users.
But this is a big deal, and not everyone's on board. You've got researchers pointing out a huge red flag. If an AI's answers are being shaped by who's paying for ads, how can you trust what it's telling you? It's a real risk, one that could totally undermine the trust people have in these tools.
Okay, so that's ads. The second idea is where things get really interesting and way more complex. It's a concept called value sharing, and honestly, it completely flips the script on how software is usually sold. We're not talking about your typical monthly subscription here. Think partnerships.
So how does this work? Let's say a pharma company uses an AI model, and boom, it helps them discover a game-changing new drug. Instead of just paying a subscription fee, that company might give the AI provider, say, a 5% ownership stake in the new drug's patent. See? The AI company provides the tool, and in return, they get a piece of the action, a share of the intellectual property that was created.
Now this shift isn't just about making money. It's shaking up the entire industry, changing the very rules of the game.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. For the longest time, we all thought AI was a software problem. You just need smarter code, better algorithms. That's not the game anymore. Today, building a top-tier AI is an infrastructure project. It's less like writing an app and more like building a nationwide power grid.
And what that means is the price of admission to this club has completely changed. To be a real player now, you need access to just massive amounts of electricity. You need to own actual physical land for your data centers. And you need the political clout to get all that stuff approved and built. It's a game that obviously favors the big guys, which is why we're seeing this huge consolidation in the industry.
You can really see the whole story of AI right here. It started with a focus on clever algorithms. Then it became all about having the most data. After that, it was a race for raw compute power. And now? Now it's about who owns the dirt and the power plants, the physical infrastructure.
And of course, the investors are paying attention. Their priorities have totally shifted. It's not just about the wow factor of the tech anymore. Now they're laser focused on the economics. They're asking the hard questions. How are you going to make money? How can you get your costs down? Can you actually charge for this? That big, beautiful AGI dream is getting a serious dose of reality from the accountants.
Okay, so AI is getting woven into the fabric of our economy, but it's also getting a lot closer to home. I mean, a lot closer to us, physically, in some pretty startling ways. I mean, think about it. The next frontier really does seem to be the human body. You hear the whispers about Apple's AI wearables, you see CEOs of major AI labs investing in brain-computer interface companies. That line we used to draw between technology and, well, us, it's getting really blurry really fast. And this all leads to a really critical question. Are we actually ready for this? It doesn't matter if AGI is 5 years away or 50. The consensus is no, we're not. Our power grids are already strained. Our job markets have no idea what's coming. And the folks in charge of making the rules, they are playing catch-up, and they're years behind.
Let's go back to that value-sharing idea for a second. It forces us to ask a really fundamental question. If an AI helps you invent something amazing, who owns it? Who gets the credit? Our entire legal system was built for a world where tools were just tools. What happens when your hammer is also your co-inventor?
And that's really the final big question we're left with, isn't it? As the AI industry figures out how to pay its massive bills with ads, with the piece of our inventions, are we ready for the other costs, the ethical ones? What does it mean when the business model isn't just selling you a service, but owning a piece of what you create? And maybe, just maybe, a piece of you too.